Well, hey there, folks. I'm Meteorologist Matt Barrentine, trying to get everything set up here in our digital center. Obviously, heat is going to be the #1 story. Got some thunderstorms going on parts of our area right now, which is good. That really helps us out, cool things off. But the heat will be the big story next several days. We continue to be seriously hot. But, you know, for us in the summertime, this isn't terribly unusual, but it's still uncomfortable, and you know, you can still have issues because of it. So we do have a heat advisory that's up today. We have another one that's up for tomorrow as well. And our heat index numbers are not going to be wonderful out there. You can see tomorrow we could easily beat 110 at times in the heat index value. So not going to be the best of days coming up for your Tuesday. We expect to experience some pretty significant heat in the coming days. Like I said, there is some good news out there right now that we are experiencing some showers and a few thunderstorms. It's sort of in a line now that is moving southward. We just had these roll through Mobile, help to cool things off. You can see now they are in southern Mobile County, southern Baldwin County, over into Pensacola as well. All kind of south of I-10 at this point. Almost a fully solid line there too, which is kind of a little bit different here for us, pushing south like that. So there is still some thunder and lightning in all this. You can see heavy rain in and around Fairhope right now. We could also see some heavy rain now moving through Irvington and point southward there. Over into Baldwin here, we got heavy rain. It's about to move into Foley, thunder and lightning moving into Alberta as well. Lillian. I'm going to pause this so it doesn't keep jumping around quite so much. And then over in Pensacola, we got some heavy rain there as well too. With some thunder and lightning basically right over town. So this is pushing through town. It's not the Gulf breeze yet. Give it about 20-30 minutes. It'll be crossing the bridge there into Gulf breeze. Garcon Point, so sort of on the north side of Garcon Point, south side of Garcon Point. You'll see some rain before too long. South of Milton there, going through Eglin. Not quite to Fort Walton Beach yet, but starting to rain in Niceville. So a number of areas where we're starting to see the rain that, you know, once again, really helping us out temperature-wise, because obviously the heat has been intense again today. But this is certainly going to help us out here. But go ahead and get the current temperatures, and you'll see the rain-cooled numbers here. Mobile down to 83. Big improvement there. Grove Hill at 79. Molino at 83. You can see Gulf Shores, where it hasn't rained yet, still 91. Same in Destin, so 96 in Pascagoula. Hot spot there. So that's where the rain has happened, or hasn't happened yet. Let's see what the feels like numbers. And yeah, this is the big difference here. We are well above 100 in most areas just about 2 hours ago. Now we're seeing our heat index values really dive off because of that rain in and around the area. So that is good to see. But once again, we'll definitely be seeing more rain, more storms tomorrow that will hopefully cool us off in the middle of the afternoon after the searing heat of the day, where once again we'll be talking about heat index numbers easily getting above 105 and at times as high as 110. And it's not just the fact that it gets hot, it's the fact that it stays hot for a long time. So here's your Tuesday. I'm going through on the Futurecast. I'm going to try to stop it there around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't look as active as today, but there will be some showers and storms around here for us tomorrow to contend with. So we got some showers and thunderstorms here coming up for your Tuesday. Temperature-wise, it's going to be a very similar sort of setup tomorrow that like we had today. It'll start out very warm and humid. It'll heat up quickly on your Tuesday. Temperatures well up into the 90s as we head into the afternoon. We're talking temperatures that will climb into the mid-90s tomorrow. Heat index values will be, once again, way on up there, so just be prepared to deal with that heat. Pensacola Beach, here's your forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be in the low 90s, not really surprising there. Really not too bad. And the good news is we're going to see improvements as the week goes along with our beach forecast. The conditions in the surf will get better. Obviously, we've had some terrible tragedies over in Panama City. 5 people drowned over the weekend, so just absolutely horrible there. But conditions are improving in the Gulf. Now, this is what the one I wanted to put up. The breakdown hour by hour tomorrow on your Tuesday with that heat index. So keep in mind, a lot of people get confused about the heat index. It's not the actual temperature. The temperatures We'll top out around 94, 95, somewhere in that range tomorrow. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a heat index. Well, your body has, natural air conditioning. You sweat. When that sweat evaporates, it creates what we call evaporative cooling that cools your body down. When it is really hot, plus it's really humid, your sweat can't evaporate very effectively. When it's really humid, your sweat doesn't evaporate well. So basically, it kind of short circuits your body's natural ability to cool itself. That's why 100 degrees here in Mobile feels a lot different than 100 degrees in Phoenix or Vegas, where they have much lower humidity. Because you sweat out there, your sweat evaporates, it cools off your body. This doesn't happen here in the summertime. We just feel hotter. So that's where it's a formula that they use with temperature and humidity to come up with a heat index, what it feels like. So that's why sometimes we'll call it a feels like temperature. So this is what it's going to feel like most of the day tomorrow. And one big thing I want you to notice here is that the triple digit heat indexes start at 10 in the morning and they go all the way through 6 in the evening. That's 8 straight hours of 100 plus on the heat index. So it's not just the fact that it gets hot, it's the fact that it gets hot and it stays hot for a long time during the day. And if you're outside, you're not hydrated properly, obviously that can cause issues, heat exhaustion, and then of course worst case scenario is heat stroke. So that's what you got to watch out for on days. And the thing is about heat exhaustion or heat stroke is that the person who is going through that, they are typically confused. They get confused and they don't notice that it's happening to them. So it's incumbent on the people that are around to notice that's happening to that person and to help them out. So I'm having some issues here with my computer system. I switch up some things on it, see if I can get it to work a little better. So let me see if I can't get this to work. Okay, so heat exhaustion, heat stroke. There are different things to look out for. Heat exhaustion, you'll feel dizzy. Somebody with going through heat stroke, they may get a terrible migraine headache. A big thing that can kind of help you tell the difference between the two is sweating. They're sweating a lot, they're probably going through heat exhaustion. If they're not sweating, they very well could be having a heat stroke. Somebody with heat exhaustion, their skin will feel cool and clammy. Somebody who's having a heat stroke, their skin will feel hot. They'll have a rapid, weak pulse if they have heat exhaustion, but they'll have a stronger pulse, the heat stroke. That one's a little harder to tell. Cramps, of course, for heat exhaustion, and then somebody may lose consciousness with heat stroke. And obviously, how you deal with these, if somebody's having heat exhaustion, you want to cool them off. Somebody's having heat stroke, you've got to call 911. And of course, if you have any doubts, because it is a list there of different symptoms, and of course you could Google these on your phone. If you have any doubts, just call 911. That's always going to be the best thing to do because you want to get somebody taken care of. And like I said, the person that is going through this, either of these things, I've been around it before. I had a friend of mine that did this a couple of years ago, and he was just really, really confused. And so he couldn't have helped himself if he wanted to. He wasn't fully in a heat stroke. He was going through heat exhaustion, but he was just terribly confused. And so when somebody's like that, it's incumbent on the other people around them to notice it and to help them out. So that's the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Hopefully you won't need that information in the coming days, but it's good to know. It's really good to know so you can help, once again, take care of the people around you. Out in the tropics, here's the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. It is pretty much clear at this point. I know we turned active for a little bit, got one named Storm Alberto. But all that's kind of died off. We have something out there called a gyre that happens over Central America, and that gyre is basically falling apart. So we're okay out there, and I don't anticipate any development this week. So we're good to go for the moment. So we've had one named storm, and you say, well, come on, this is supposed to be one of the busiest seasons ever. That's what all those forecasters are saying, yeah? And it's starting slow, right? Well, don't think of it like that. June is always a slow month. It's typical. Look at the thing over here. 6% of all named systems happen in June. We just got one. We got Alberta in June. So, we've basically hit the average, or actually a little better than average, even getting one named storm in June. Okay? There's a lot of Junes where we don't get named storms. So we're right there, folks. What matters is what happens when we go from July and into August. Right around that we make that turn from July into August. That's when activity really begins to pick up in the tropics. So that's when things will matter. June storms really rarely matter. They're just rainmakers typically. They're not very strong. Even into July, we don't have a whole lot of strong systems. But once again into August, that's obviously where things really start to flip around, especially as we get later into August. So we'll be watching out for all that. All right, you've been with me. If you've been with me this long, I applaud you. Let me get you that long-range forecast up so you can have that, and I'll get that up full screen so you can get a good look at it. The good news is, even though it's going to be hot, that's not going to change. We will have scattered showers and storms most days, and I think we'll be able to dial back the heat a little bit because of the showers and storms. In other words, instead of 95, 96, it'll be 93. It's not a huge difference. It'll still be very humid. Our heat index values will still be up around 105, but we may be able to dial back from the heat advisories at least. And having the thunderstorms in the afternoon will continue to help us out, cooling us off. I know it's going to be a lot better going out to my car in the parking lot here after the shows this afternoon now that we've had a shower. It'll certainly be a lot better. I have a black car and it just fries out in our parking lot because we don't have very many trees. So it'd be nice to have it cooled off a little bit. So that's what we got. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on our digital station, our Gulfstream. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we will catch up with you soon.